Hello, my darling friends. This is the Oracle Shariananda, and today we're going to have some lessons in telepathy. Many of you have been listening to me on my talk show on www.oranum.com, where I frequently refer to myself as a telepath. Well, today I would like to use some of the knowledge that I have intuitively and through experience to teach you how to use your telepathic powers as well. First, let me define telepathy for you. Telepathy is a sender and a receiver or a mind-to-mind transmission from my mind to your mind. It can consist of a thought, a command, an emotion, or a desire. It can be transmitted as an object, as a symbol, as a feeling or need, as an inaudible communication, which is intended for another, or in some instances, unintended. And the way that you know whether or not you have communicated with someone that you are a sender for, there are several ways in which you arrive at knowing whether you've gotten the message through. And some of those things I want to talk to you about today. However, first I'd like to talk to you about the universal mind and symbology of meaning in order for you to understand the whole realm or the whole universe of receiving telepathic messages and sending telepathic messages. In today's work, I will talk to you about the universal mind symbology. I'll talk to you about receiving and observing in order to recognize how to send and receive. I'll talk to you about the mental transference, and so that might take us into several parts of this discussion. And finally, I'll talk to you about advanced receptivity. And one of the things I'd like to offer, and one of the things that I would like to offer is the workshop teaching you in live and in person telepathy. So for those of you who follow this series, please do not hesitate to look at my information contact video so that if you would love to have me come as a workshop leader to teach you these things in person, and or if you would love to have me come and do readings and or healings in person, I will be very happy to if you will contact me using the contact information among the several videos on the YouTube site. I am the Oracle Shariananda, and I work with you now as a telepathist. In all of our knowing as a species, and particularly as human species, we all are taught the things that enter our universe. Some of those things include simple things like trees or birds or flowers. Well, each of these things has a certain amount of character assigned to them. A tree, say for example, is thought of as by and large nature. It's also assigned as the virtue of strength. It can be assigned the virtue or the connecting point of roots. So let's say that I decided that I was going to send you an image of a tree. I simply would have to think that and think it to your third eye, and you would receive that image. Or I could, in my mind's eye and in the third chakra, in the chakra of my throat, say tree, and you may receive it that way. However, trees, by and large, can be sent in any number of ways. I could spell it, I could feel it by imagining myself a tree. So there are a number of ways to send. And for those of you who are unconscious telepaths, that is, you send out your thoughts, but you don't realize that you are sending them, we want to make it possible for you to get in control of just what you're saying to someone. Now, when I discovered I was a telepath, it was standing one day with a landlord, and the person was saying that I could not have a party in my apartment, and so I understood that to be the written rule. But when we were talking face to face, in my mind, I was saying to his mind, "Say yes." because this is an important party. It was one of my austere birthday and celebration months, the months of July. So I said, say yes. And he stood there. I could see him trying to sort why he wanted to say yes when clearly the rules said no. But he did say yes. And that was the moment at which I knew that I had telepathic abilities. Now, of course, you have no right to go around imposing your will on someone else's. But if it is a question of yes or no, and that person is debating, there's no reason you can't vote for yourself by saying, I hope you say no. And essentially, that is what I said. I said, say yes, say yes, say yes in my mind. This might become a very important skill for you to learn to use in job interviews. You can look at the entire committee and say, as you sit with them, you want to hire me. I am worthy, I am qualified, I am friendly, and I will fit in here. It is never up to the committee to decide your fate. It is up to you. So I share with you these things regarding the uses of telepathy in order for you to move your life along using some of your higher gifts, which may not have been introduced to you over the course of your life. We are in a new century. We are in a new cycle, and we are ascending. So those of us who have higher abilities and have learned how to use them in practical ways are here as light workers to share with you how to increase your ability to know and to empower you to do good for others. I do not teach this ability so that you may dominate, control, or otherwise interfere, manipulate other people's lives. It is not allowed. The karma that you will incur will cost you. So I give you fair warning that if you use telepathy to help yourself, you must also be in a position to help another. All right, let's begin. Now, as I said, the word tree has things associated with it. But if I said the word peace without having a symbol, then there would be any number of universal ideas that convey the idea of peace. If I said to you now peace, what would come to your mind might be a white dove. Many people use the peace dove as a symbol for peace. But you may see two people shaking hands. You maybe see a person sitting under a tree with their eyes closed, maybe meditating or sleeping or simply resting. For the word peace, you may see a gun with no holster to it, no hand holding it. There might be any number of ways that your mind might interpret the idea of peace. So we have among us a what I call a universal symbology, and then we have each of us a personal symbology. If, for example, I said to you the word treasure, then treasure in and of itself could look any number of ways. Some persons would think treasure would be their children. They would see maybe their babe in arm on the day that it was born, and that would be their treasure. Other people might see actually a treasure chest, perhaps closed, perhaps open, with all kinds of diamonds and jewels and emeralds and rubies and sapphires and gold, of course, pouring out. Other people may see treasure as a show on television, as in a treasure hunt where people are looking for treasure. Treasure could easily be an heirloom in a family, where a ring or a pearl necklace, or perhaps even an old piece of furniture or a certain book would be the treasure. So each of us has a universal way that we would consider treasure, and we have a maximum use of treasure. So I say to you, let us go to part two of telepathy, and then I will start to teach you a little bit more about how to observe to know how to send messages. Thank you.